Welcome to Black Tubs Infinity. I'm your host, Kr0nus, and tonight it's just me because Old Ninja is a little bit sick, and Prodigy didn't want to do a two-man show. Apparently, he saw a two-man show one time in TJ, and he doesn't want to shoot ping pong balls out of his ass. So, I can't blame the guy, to be honest with you. But I'm not doing that either. I'm just saying it's a one-man show. I'm doing nothing ping pong ball related or anything like that. So, yeah. You're just getting me out of, I don't like missing live streams. I like having a consistent show every week because I know you all that listen to this podcast on a regularly scheduled program appreciate that. So you get something this week. And sorry, it's just me. Hopefully you don't mind that it's just me, but we'll get some stuff out of the way. Obviously, well, not obviously. It's not going to be a full podcast. It's not going to be like a, 1.5, 2 hours this week. But I will talk about some stuff that maybe you guys will enjoy. So we'll go through the normal stats that we go through when we're doing a podcast. It's a little bit difficult when I'm engineering on the ones and twos and also talking. So first in the show will be Papa Bear. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. Good to see you in there again. And listener of the week would be Blue City. Thank you very much. Appreciate you listening to the podcast. So, where do we start on this podcast first? First thing will be an update from me. I got an ear infection, which sucks. I thought little kids got that shit, but apparently adults do too. I've never in my entire life got an ear infection. And I remember maybe like last week, my ear started kind of hurting. But it was like the outside of my ear, and I thought I was getting a cauliflower ear from Jujutsu, and I thought that was it. It's just cauliflower ear, whatever, it's fine. And then I think it was like Sunday night, it started getting like really worse, and then I started feeling like something in my ear. Like I thought something like, this is what I originally thought. I thought that I was using, because I use Q-tips, and don't judge me, I don't give a shit. I love the way that Q-tips feel in my ears, and I think most people, that's the reason why we use them. It's because it feels good to use Q-tips on your ears, and also to get your ears clean. But I thought that maybe what was happening was that I was pushing earwax into like my eardrum, because that's what doctors and other people always say, is that don't use Q-tips because you're just going to push earwax into your eardrums. And I thought, holy shit, after 44 years on this planet, maybe that's what I just did, is I just kept using Q-tips and pushing earwax further into my ear. My ears are usually, they're always clean. I mean, I clean my ears at least once a day. When I say at least once a day, it's every time after I shower, I clean my ears with Q-tips. And, I haven't seen like an actual doctor for a really long time. So I was thinking, usually, when I saw a doctor, they would always look at my ears and they said it was, my ears look clean. So I was like, all right, fine. So obviously Q-tips are not the issue. And I was like, not dreading, but I was thinking maybe I was like, that idiot that should have stopped using Q-tips. And so I bought like this, like water ear cleaner thing, just in preparation for the savage ear beating I was likely going to get from a doctor. So I had to go into the urgent care on, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I went in, and this doctor came in and she looked at my ear, and yeah, it was just my ear, like my ear canal is infected, and it's like, because of that, like my ear is like kind of inflamed. So that's what the problem was. It wasn't because I was getting cauliflower ear, it's because I have an ear canal infection. And like my ear canal is like super tight right now. So it was like, it was hard for me to hear. And they were like, yeah, it's fine. We'll just give you some ear drops and, flush your ear out, and you'll be on your way. So they flushed my ear out, and they said, if you can't tolerate it, just let them know. And I was like, well, I mean, the way my ear feels right now fucking sucks. So let's just flush it out. How bad could it be? The ear flushing was fine. Like it didn't hurt at all. It was just a little pressure in my ear with some warm water. It was fine. Then after that, my ear felt a lot better. I got the eardrops, did that, and then this morning, I woke up, and my fucking the right side of my head was just brutal. Like it was just like it hurt a lot. I slept fine, which is good because the night before I slept like shit. I couldn't really sleep at all, and I had crazy nightmares, which apparently is like a thing if you have an ear infection. I didn't know that. I had to look it up. So yeah, this morning, the side of my head was just not feeling great. I had a headache. My whole like ear area felt like it was like just inflamed and just sucked. So I was trying to work, and I was just like, you know what, I can't work. I felt like shit, and then I took an amoxicillin, which I had from when I had oral surgery like last month, but I never took any antibiotics for it, which I should have. I just fucking forgot. And so I took some amoxicillin along with the eardrops, and it just wiped me out. I had to take a nap like an old person. And so I just stopped working for the day. I did like one meeting, and I was like, I think I got halfway through a meeting, and I was like, you know what, I can't. Like, I got to take a break. Got a good nap in today, which was great. And then later on in the day, I got my new bidet. If you know me, I'm a bidet enthusiast. My bidet broke like 2-3 weeks ago, and every time I'd wipe my ass, I felt like a fucking savage. Like seriously, you can call me bougie, you can call me whatever, but I cannot stand having to wipe my ass. Like, I mean, you have to wipe your ass a little bit when you have a bidet. To just be totally honest, like, because your ass is wet, unless you like use the dryer and you sit there for the dryer to dry your ass. Even then, you should probably still, wipe just in case. But yeah, like having that couple of weeks without a bidet was brutal. And I got the new one in today, and I installed it, and all is right in the world again. I feel like a king again on his throne with my bidet. But this new bidet, they relabeled some of the buttons on there. There's a button called Vortex, and the Vortex button is relabeled in America because it's actually the enema button. The enema button. So, yeah, this bidet has an enema feature. So, take that for however you want. What else has been going on? I originally wanted to talk about the Israel-Palestine conflict on the podcast this week, but if we were going to talk about it, honestly, on the live stream, it would have had to be totally demonetized. Then I would have had to like grab the recording and then remove the part of it where we talked about this, and then edit that out so I can have a monetized podcast, and then put out the just the Israel-Palestine part on a separate podcast, and then demonetize that because you can't talk about these things and have it monetized, because if you have a certain stance about the conflict, people don't want to hear it. So, and people get really angry about it. But I will lay it out, my stance on it, on another podcast. But it's going to be sort of in depth. And when people talk about the conflict is complicated and we can't do anything about it, it's not that. Listen. If we understand the geopolitics of fucking World War I and II, then we should be wholly, able to understand the geopolitics of the Israel and Palestine conflict, because it's not what most media outlets are talking about. It's a long period of time that happens. Actually, I think this might be better served with an episode of Balance Exchange, to be honest. But it's gonna be one that just would be well. Actually, Balance Exchange isn't really monetized anyway, so that's probably even better way to talk about it. But I did want to talk about my cousin, Kr0nus Prodigy, about it. But I also do want to talk about Papa Bear about it as well. So we'll see what's going to happen on the next few weeks. Maybe I can schedule something with Papa Bear to talk about it, because it's a lot and it's heavy, and there's like a lot of like misinformation on both ends that occurs anytime anything goes off around that area. And I was unaware of some of the stuff until I like looked into it, and some of it's pretty fucked up all around. So anytime you have civilian deaths on any side, that's terrible. I'll move on so I don't talk more about it because I have a lot of opinions on it. So I'll just say that it's on pause for now. We are going to move, hopefully, at the end of the next month. So we should close on escrow. What is it? Today's the 18th. 2 days from now. So hopefully we'll close on escrow. I'm still kind of iffy about it because right now funding a home is kind of sketch because of the high interest rates, and they are way more. They have way more scrutiny on who they're lending to nowadays. And I've owned 2 homes previously, and both of them I've never had anybody actually go through my finances. Well, you have to send in your finances, right? But I've never had somebody ask me like, what are these things for in your finances when I was buying a house? So that was like kind of weird. And there was some other like weird kind of fuckery going on. So hopefully it's all taken care of now. All my contingencies have been released for the house. So hopefully we can move into this place. But what I am not looking forward to is our new mortgage payment, because it's going to be a lot of money compared to what we're paying now. It's going to be the highest housing cost I've ever paid in my entire life, by a lot. So we'll get through it. Maybe I'll have a second job. I don't know. Maybe I'll sell a kidney or something. TJ's not far. But I still look forward to moving there, even though it's like I'm going to move into a place that's basically, it's technically a townhouse, but it's a big townhouse, and we'll have an HOA. Yes, probably I just asked. Yes, it has an HOA, which I don't generally like HOAs, but I think in this instance, given the housing market and all kinds of other stuff, like we're just going to kind of suck it up for a while. And the HOA is supposed to take care of, like, I've read through all of the articles of the HOA. Sorry, if you don't know about what an HOA is, it's a Housing Owners Association, which if you're black, aren't great things for historical reasons, but hopefully not more than 35% of take home. Are collectively no. So the thing is, so when we did, the problem is that I'm getting a VA loan. Thank you, Black Film Guild, for asking that question. They were saying, I don't know if you're a man or woman or whatever, hopefully not more than 35% of take home. What they mean is like basically more than 35% of my take home income, which of mine, it would be, let me see, it'd be close. And that's one of the main problems, but I have a partner. And so it's not 35% of like our total income. It's still a lot though, because we have other bills. I'm kind of debt heavy right now, which is fine. Like I've paid down a lot of debt over the years. But the thing is with a VA loan, because we're not married, is that I can't put her on the mortgage. So that makes financing more difficult with the VA loan. So yeah, we'll be fine with the payments. It's just, it's just a fucking grip. It's a grip of money, and I'm not gonna like it for a while. And I'm hoping that the interest rates come down. They should, because right now the housing market's really messed up right now, especially here in California. I'm seeing like a lot of homes that are getting put back on the market that are dropping their prices. Even the home that we got it for like a really good price, because we actually got overbid. But we said that basically the seller could stay in the home for an extra couple of weeks if they kept our price, and they agreed. And it's thousands of dollars, if not a couple of tens, at least $10,000 off. So that's not bad, which is more than what the mortgage would be for 2 months. So, well, close, but yeah. So yeah, it made sense in the end to get it, and we had like we had 3 other offers fall through. So, yeah, shit was getting real, and I don't like renting, and we're renting. It's not a great house. It's working for now, but it's not a great house. But I am gonna miss having a separate building for my infinity base. I'm gonna have an actual room again, which is how the podcast first started. When we first started the podcast, it was in Hayward, California originally. I remember the original room. And then we moved to San Leandro, that had another room that was downstairs. Then we moved to Hayward again, and that's when I built the infinity base because we're out of my garage for a while, and then I built the infinity base. Um, so yeah, I'll be back in an actual room in a house again. I'm gonna read through the chat really quickly. Yeah, they was just talking about like the interest rates. Yeah, I hope they have to come down. Hopefully soon. If not, I'll figure something else out. But everybody's predicting that it's going to come down. That's the way the economy right now, especially the housing market in most of the country is going. Is the housing market is drying up. Well, I think most people that were buying houses up until this point, over the past like year or so, are folks that originally had a home that was I don't want to say overvalued, but was worth a lot of money, and they sold it and bought another property somewhere else. And those people are probably settled by now. And I think that right now, having to have that much money down to buy a home in most markets is unattainable for most people. And I think that's why you're seeing the housing market quickly cool. Because people just, I mean, if you have like, if the average median household, if the average price of a house in your market is like, say, I don't know, $750,000, and they're asking for like 20% down for that, for the cost of the home, for the mortgage. I mean, that's a lot of money for a lot of people. So most people they just can't afford that. So yeah, but with a VA loan, you don't have to have any money down, which is what I'm doing. I'm doing zero down once again, and I still get a prime rate, which is great, which basically gives me still a decent mortgage. I say decent in fucking air quotes because it's still organ type money, organ selling money every month. So, but we'll figure it out. Don't worry about us. Couple of other things that I've been enjoying lately. Jujutsu Kaisen. I finally watched the first season because there was this. So when I go, my youngest daughter, she does ballet and like Broadway stuff. She just got into it like this year, and when I drop her off on Thursdays, she basically she gets dropped off for like 2 hours, and I come back and pick her up. And I met like this dad. He thought I was wearing like an anime shirt, but I was wearing a Bluey shirt. It was a Bandit, if you know Bluey. Just saying, Bandit's the shit. And he thought that I was wearing an anime shirt, so we started like talking about anime a lot. And he was asking me if I watched Jujutsu Kaisen. He said Jujutsu Kaisen. I thought I was talking about jujitsu, and I was like, I do jujitsu, and he's like, no, Jujutsu Kaisen. And I was like, no, I watched the first one or two, and I had other stuff going on. I didn't watch it. And he's like, oh man, you got to watch it. So I finally started watching the fucking show. Yes, it's amazing. I watched like almost the first like season before I saw the guy again, and then I saw him. It was like maybe a week or two after maybe it's like a week after I saw this guy, and he goes, "So did you catch up?" I was like, "Dude, like it was like a week. Like what are you talking about? Like I'm not gonna watch like all like catch up like in a week. Like I got shit to do." And at the time, I was like, I went to Vegas that weekend, and it was like Vegas is kind of more important than watching anime. And we did a lot of cool shit there. But it was just interesting. But now I'm on season 2 now. I watched the movie. The anime is really good. It's one of my current favorite animes, not of all time, but just current favorite animes. Because I'm still watching Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War, which I love as well. But if you guys ever get a chance, watch Jujutsu Kaisen. If you haven't already, if you're an anime fan, check it out. It's a great show. It has it has a good amount of action, hand-to-hand combat. It has some gore in it with like demons and shit, and like people getting fucked up and mutilated. Like it's kind of a crazy anime. And the movie was pretty good too. It actually punched me in the feels a little bit. So yeah. All right, where are we going next? Let's talk about gaming for a minute. The DLC for High on Life came out. I think it was last week. High on Life is a really cool first-person shooter that was made. It's by Squanch Games. If Squanch sounds familiar to you, it's because it's from the creators of Rick and Morty. So I loved the game when it came out. It was kind of short, but I still loved it. Both me and Old Ninja liked the game. And when we started playing it, like we both beat it in like not too long a time. It was fun. You get different kinds of weapons that are they're actually like sentient beings, so the guns will talk to you. And one of the guns' voices is his name is Kenny, and he's basically the voice of Morty. Who's the same voice actor for Morty, or was Justin Roiland, and he was always fun to like shoot people and shit like that. And then you had a knife. Yeah, there's a bunch of other weapons too that are guns called the Gatlians, but you had a knife called Knifey, and he was like this Australian accented dude that loved just stabbing people, and it was just funny hearing him like wanting to stab people. And so the DLC for High on Life is called High on Knife, and it's a story of Knifey, and he goes back to like his world or something. I haven't gotten to the point to where I got back to his world yet, but I'm maybe like 45 minutes to an hour in, and it's just as good as the other one. They dropped Kenny because Justin Roiland is no longer with Squanch anything. He basically got canceled for sexual assault allegations that were actually proved false. But there was apparently a lot of problems with him and the studio. I guess he was drunk all the time and like causing a lot of shit with other people that worked on Rick and Morty, so they just kind of canned him. So you don't get Kenny, the gun in the game. You get like some other person in the game, like a different kind of gun. I forget her name. But I like this one. Like, it's funny because you go to like a new planet, and the planet is it's inhabited by these slugs, and all the slugs are like really sick, and they're like, when you talk to them, they start coughing on you, and like the spray of the cough gets on the camera, and they're living on a world made of salt, and they eat salt all the time, and they don't know why they're sick. And I thought that was like pretty funny joke. It's like, dude, it's pretty obvious. Spider-Man 2 drops this week on the 20th, which I'm looking forward to. It's gotten pretty good reviews. I think kind of low reviews as far as I'm concerned, because it still looked pretty good. I understand IGN gave it, I think, an 8, but because they said like their open world concept is kind of like old and stale. But I am okay with that because I'm kind of fucking old and stale. So fuck you, IGN, all you young people. I don't mind some of the old school open world stuff. I find it charming. So I'm gonna play the shit out of that game. But also on the 20th, Super Mario Wonder drops as well, which is like the first 2D side-scrolling Super Mario Brothers to drop in quite some time, and it looks really good. So if you have a Nintendo Switch, I would highly recommend getting it, even though I haven't played it yet. It just looks good. So this is a blind recommendation. I'm going to pick up both of the games on Friday. I know there's an early release for it tomorrow, so I'm going to pick it up. Spider-Man 2, I'm going to pick up early tomorrow. Super Mario Wonder, I'll pick up on Friday proper. And I'll have fun playing probably Spider-Man 2 for a while, because I kind of stopped playing Starfield. Even though it was still fun, I think I fucked up where I shouldn't have quote unquote beat the game. When I beat it, I should have went back and like done more stuff and then quote unquote beat the game. Let's see here. Papa Bear is a little over 2 hours left with Awaken Online. Okay, excellent. We don't talk about books enough on this podcast. We usually keep that for Balance Exchange. We have a whole bunch to catch up with. But Awaken Online Timeless dropped a couple of weeks ago. And it was one of my favorites in the series, especially the end. The end gets fucking crazy. Papa Bear, I'm not going to spoil it for you. Hopefully you really like the end of it, because it kind of like throws some shit on its head. And what's kind of crazy is like after I was reading another book called Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is another fantastic lit RPG series, and the author for Dungeon Crawler Carl had put out a tweet of recommending like another book, and it was called The Crypt. Hold on. It's called The Crypt something. The Crypt Shakedown, which is a really fucking good book. When he mentioned it, I was like, man, it better be good, because the author of Dungeon Crawler Carl, he made another book called what's it called? Something Kaiju. But it was like a really dark book. and I wasn't prepared for that one. Like it was like really dark and gory. But this book that he recommended called The Crypt Shakedown was really good, and it's like a military style like drama slash action series. Actually, a Papa Bear, I think you'd actually really like it. And what's kind of crazy is that I read the book, and I thought that the person that wrote it was like in the military, and so I tweeted about it. I tweeted to him about it. I was like, "Hey man, you were in the military?" And he said no, but he had four consultants that were in the military. I think it was like two Army guys, a Navy guy, and a Marine, and he did a really good job of like using using military lingo for this book, because but it's set in like the far future, where like humans inhabit space, and they're like they have space battles and all this crazy shit. But then it gets into like this really dark thing of like, I don't want to give it away. We kind of ruined the book. But basically think of like a really fucked up submarine. Like it's like a mix of like Event Horizon and The Hunt for Red October. Yeah, that's a good one. It's a really good mix between those two. So if you like either of those books, if you like military genre style actions, yeah, Kaiju Battlefield Surgeon. That's the other book I was talking about from Matt Denneman. But yeah, this book I'm talking about, the Crypt Shakedown. Yeah, Event Horizon and The Hunt for Red October. That's a really good analogy for it for that book, because it gets really horrific. There's a legit psychopath. There's a couple of them, but there's like one. There's a woman in this book who is a legit fucking psychopath that is in the military that gets promoted, and it's just like, what is happening here? And this, when I say like psychopath, like a murderous psychopath, and it's crazy, like the way that she covers up like her urges to just like mutilate people. And just think about somebody like that on a submarine. So, even though it's not a submarine because it's in space. So, yeah. That's one of my new favorite books, and I'm looking forward to reading more. I think the guy's name is Scott Sigler. He's the author of the book, and I'm going to read some more of his books. So like I asked him, like, hey, obviously I'm going to read more of his books, but I asked for recommendations for his books, and so he asked me for my top 3 movies, and my top 3 movies. He probably should ask for my top 3 books, but that's fine. My top 3 movies, I think I told him it was like Fight Club, The Matrix, and Equilibrium. So those are like off the top of my head, and then he gave me some recommendations. He said he doesn't have books like that, which I didn't think he was going to, given like what I read. But he gave me some more recommendations on his books, and I'm going to read what he recommended. Because right now I'm in between books, and I'm listening to podcasts, and most of the podcasts I'm listening to are about horrific shit because of the Israel and Palestine conflict. I'm going to go to that a little bit again right now, just like y'all can hear, because I listen to like both sides of this fucking conflict. I listen to stories from what happened in Gaza from the aspect, I'm sorry, what happened to the people in Israel that got attacked by Hamas. And then I listen to people in Gaza who are Palestinians that how they have to live right now while getting assaulted from Israel. So I think it's important to get both sides of the story, and they're both fucking horrific. So yeah. Equilibrium and The Matrix are the same movie. Oh, Papa Bear, are you serious? You think so? They're very different. I think if you would have said like The Matrix and like, what is that book that I'd like to listen to? The one about cyberpunk. I think it's just called, is it Cyberpunk? I know the guy's name. Gibson. Something Gibson. Somebody's going to be so mad right now yelling at me, but I can't hear you. So, oh, it's Mike Pondsmith. I think that's his name. No, that's the guy who made the fucking the tabletop game. What's the cyberpunk book? Trying to find it. Oh, he's just fucking with me. Neuromancer. There we go. By William Gibson. There we go. That's a great book if you like The Matrix. So, and also The Matrix is in the book that came out a long time ago. The same exact name they call it The Matrix. It's the same fucking thing. They jack into the Matrix. I'm just saying. They're not exactly the same, but like just that one portion of it, like the actual the use and the name of The Matrix is the same concept in Neuromancer, which is a great book. I think it's probably standardized reading if you are into the cyberpunk genre. So if you like playing Cyberpunk 2077, if you like Edge Runners, if you liked what was that movie? God damn it, can't remember the name of the movie. This is why I need somebody else with me. It's with the older guy. The Blade Runner. There we go. If you like Blade Runner, you'll dig this book. So it's kind of like that book spawned a lot of it spawned pretty much the genre and did a lot of really good things. So it's definitely worth reading. And Elysium, that's another good one. That's cyberpunk-y-ish. Like I said, this podcast is going to be short because I do need my rest, my beauty rest. I'm just kidding. I'm going to always be ugly. It's fine. But taking those antibiotics earlier, I probably should get some rest and to heal my ear because, yeah, right now it's okay, but I'm drinking and I just took some ear drops. So, and I got to edit this and get it out. So, next week, if we don't have a full podcast, I'm going to ask for a guest, Papa Bear. That'll probably be you. And then we'll talk about the Israel-Palestine thing, and we can do it as Just Balance Exchange if you want as a live stream. So if that works for you, let me know. That is all I got. Oh, we're doing a fundraiser for Rescue Residents. Papa Bear, if you could please drop the link to the Give Butter link, because we're doing it's like hold on, give me a second. I gotta pull it up. Yeah, Battle Angel's another good one that is cyberpunk-y. Where are you, Dan? I think it's the Jamboree. I'm sorry, it's the Desert Amberry. I was close. When he drops the link in there, I will share it, and I will share it with myself so I can put it in the description of the podcast. But basically, we're raising an event for ambulance conversions. It'll be a festival, and that's what it is, the inaugural Jamboree. Even it's the J Amboree. Play on words, which is always great. It's about ambulance conversions. It's going to have music, food, and fundraising in the desert, and we're shooting for December 8th through the 10th. So, yeah, it's going to be in Thermal, California, which is in the desert. So, like I said, I will drop a link. There we go. He just dropped a link in the chat, and I will grab this if I can. It won't let me. There we go. And I'll put it in the description of the podcast. If you could donate, that way it'll be a lot easier for us to get things going. If you're asking, why are you looking for donations still? Even though we heard a while ago that you guys got funded, we're still waiting for the funding to come through. Apparently it takes a while for a bond to get funded. So we're still waiting for that to come through. And even still, after the bonding comes through, we still need donations for other stuff. So the bond only covers certain very specific things, which is going to help us with like procuring ambulances, procuring properties, and stuff like that. It's not going to help us for like payroll and some other things. So the bond is very specific. So we still are going to need donations going forward, and it's going towards a good cause. Again, it's to help end veteran homelessness, and eventually, if we get far enough, we can transition that into helping civilians out as well. But for now, we're okay. It's all just for the build, not for operational costs. Yeah, so none of our operational costs will be covered with the bond. So, but yeah, we're trying to really take our stab at ending homelessness and not make a bunch of money off of it ourselves. So that's one thing that we're committed to, because we've seen like a lot of these. I don't want to say a lot of. We've seen nonprofits. I will not say specifically how many or how few, but that their management, upper management, and board members make a lot of money, and that's not what we're looking to do. We're just looking to help people. So, yeah, all right. And with that, I'm out of here. So I hope this was entertaining to all of you. Cover a few topics. And next week's podcast will be longer. If I don't have somebody else to talk to, I will get somebody else to talk to instead of just myself, because it is hard to just talk to yourself for, I don't know, what is this, like an hour now? Probably not even an hour. It's probably like 30 minutes. It is. Jesus Christ, literally 35 fucking minutes. 35 minutes talking to myself. So yeah, next week we'll have a longer one. So I'll have this one out tonight. So thanks for watching and listening. Have a good day/night. Peace.